40 gate. All right, range continues to be green. Still not tracking any issues on vehicle or pad. 1 minute to go. As a reminder, we can hold at T-minus 40. We're not planning to. All right. We're through T-minus 40. Let's listen in. Flight Director Ty Huntington back in the seat. Take us through the final
Flight
seconds
Directors, go for launch. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff. Go Super Heavy. Go Starship. Thanks for all the historic flights, Pad 1.
Eagles pitching downrange. Booster Raptor chamber pressure nominal.
Booster and ship, nominal power and telemetry.
All right, we are about 45 seconds into flight. We're still getting the rattle here at Star Factory. We are seeing 33 out of 33 Raptor engines lit on Super Heavy as it arcs across the Gulf. Coming up next on Max Q.
Max
All right,
Q.
So at this point, we've passed through that period of maximum aerodynamic pressure. The next thing we're looking forward to is going to be hot staging. So we've got 33 out of 33 Raptors lit. Super Heavy makes its way uphill. Hot staging is going to be coming up in just a little over a minute. At that point, we're going to see all but 3 of those Raptor engines on Super Heavy shut down. Our version of MECO. Most engines cut off instead of main engine. And then after that, we're going to release the clamps that are currently holding Starship to that hot stage adapter. It's then going to ignite its 6 Raptor engines to push it away from Super Heavy and then start making its flight uphill. So in about 30 seconds, we're going to see the engines start to shut down on Super Heavy. You'll see them kind of shut off in separate banks until we've just got those 3 center engines that never stop running for this process, and then looking for 6 ship Raptors. All right. MECO coming up in about 10 seconds. See the engines throttling down.
Booster engine cutoff. Ship ignition.
Stage separation. Use back burn startup.
All right, successful hot staging maneuver. So we've got 12 of the 13 engines lit back up on boosters, so it's doing its boost back. Real excitingly, though, we've got 6 out of 6 Raptors lit on ship there, so it's now going to continue to make its ascent into outer space. Meanwhile, this boost back is happening. We're using those 13 engines, so everything, 12 out of the 13, and then we go down to 3, and then we're going to shut down for the end of boost back. That's sending Super Heavy back towards its planned splashdown zone in the Gulf. Right after we finish this boost back burn, we're also going to separate the hot stage. This will be the final time
Boost back
that
burn
we're doing
shutdown.
this. Is all right. There's the end of the boost back burn. We should be seeing the hot stage. There. So the hot stage separates. It's going to make its way down, also splash down in the Gulf. In the meantime, though, these 6 ship Raptors are going to continue firing for about 5 more minutes. Next up for the booster, though, is going to be its landing burn. There's a cool tracking shot. We dumped some of the prop out on our way back in. All right, so for booster, this is one of the main things we're trying to get is going to be this landing burn. So you can see the hot stage kind of making its way towards the left side. So that's the bottom of the booster. It's about to pass right in front of where you can see some of that prop dump happening. They look like they're close together, but there's a good amount of distance between them, and the hot stage will go down and splash down in the Gulf while the booster comes back for its landing burn.
Starship is on nominal trajectory.
All right. Looking good on our trajectory, looking good on everything. Jake and Amanda, you guys with me down there?
Yeah, definitely. The crowd is gathering over here in the office. You can definitely feel the energy in here. Great to see that booster is making its way down to the splashdown zone in the Gulf.
Yeah, the shaking down here was absolutely nuts. The windows are still there, still intact. So that was pretty awesome. But yeah, booster's coming down. We're at about 30 kilometers. All right, yeah, and as we approach that landing, just like tower catches, we will be doing a 13-engine landing burn to slow down. This time it will be in a V3 configuration. And as we're starting to get into the denser part of the atmosphere, the booster is using 4 hypersonic grid fins to guide itself through atmospheric entry towards its landing site.
And we're just about 20 seconds away from landing burn start, where we'll first ignite the center 13 engines, then bring that down to 5 to slow down the booster for landing. And finally, that will come down to 3, and we'll cut all of them off while we're still about 200 meters in the air. So booster is going to see a bit of a harder thing.
Booster landing burn startup. Booster landing burn shutdown.
And there we heard it, booster landing burn shutdown. We saw a 13 to 5 to 3 V3 demonstration, and into the water we go. Wow, that was absolutely awesome. If you can even hear us right now, congrats to the whole SpaceX team. So far, so good for today. That was incredible.
All right, great stuff, guys. I'm jealous of the crowd. All right, back to ship. Ship's still making its way. We've got a little under 2 minutes left in this ascent burn, so we've got all 6 Raptor engines still firing. So the next major milestone we're going to be looking for is Cisco. That's our second stage engine cutoff. That's should be coming right at about 8 minutes and 58 seconds into flight, so we've got about 1:20 still to go. Really cool to see Booster go through that landing burn. That was one of our really key demonstrations we wanted to try and do today. That's mimicking what we're going to be hopefully doing. Oh, we just got our sonic boom, sounds like, from the Booster coming back. All right, less than a minute to go. So we are going to see the 3 RVACs, the vacuum optimized engines, shut down first, and then we'll shut down those 3 center engines. So we should be a little under a minute until Cisco. Just a reminder, this is putting us into a suborbital trajectory, so we're intentionally just going slow enough that we're not going to achieve full orbit. This puts us on a course where those engines shut off, and no matter what, we're coming back.
Starship is in terminal guidance.
In the Indian Ocean. All right, terminal guidance. So we should start seeing the shutdowns come up in just a couple seconds. Less than 30 seconds to go. in this ship ascent burn. All right, RVACs have shut off. 3 more to go.
Ship engine cut off.
All right, all ship Raptors have shut
Nominal
down.
orbit insertion.
You just heard nominal orbital insertion, so we are on the path that we wanted to be. So we've got a ship back in space, a whole lot planned for it, lots more still to come. Great seeing Super Heavy make its way to the water, but I'm excited to see what ship can do in space. How's everybody doing down there?
Yeah, if you could hear the crowd behind us this whole time, people are definitely happy with how the day's been panning out so far. Definitely exciting to see Starship safely in space, and super pumped to see all the team's hard work in action here today.
Yeah, and we guaranteed it at the start of the show, but it has been an awesome day so far. It's crazy. All this has happened in just 10 minutes. All the objectives were met on the booster, including that B3 style landing burn, and now all eyes are on the ship as we get ready for our in-space objectives. But we've got a few minutes until that next milestone, so sit tight, enjoy the views, enjoy the space jams. We'll be back at T+16 minutes for payload deploy.
Welcome back, everybody. If you're just now joining us, where the heck were you? But we are getting ready for payload deploy. That's going to start once we get the payload door open. That should be happening, or at least starting within the next minute or so. It's been a really cool flight so far. Quick look inside the payload. We've got 8 Starlink simulators getting ready to make their way into outer space. But great flight so far. Booster able to make it all the way to its splashdown and landing burn experiment. So that was really exciting to see. We got ship on orbit, nominal orbital insertion, so right in the money with this trajectory. Now we're ready to start tackling a couple of in-space objectives. So next up, we are currently venting down the nose cone, essentially the payload area of Starship, as we get ready to open up this payload door. We were able to do this successfully for the very first time on our last flight, on Flight 10. Oop. Hal got ahead of me. Looks like he's opening up the payload door already. Alright, looks like we got the door open. Alright, so payload door is open. Next up, gonna be to start deploying these Starlink simulators. They are roughly the same size as the B3 Starlink satellite that Starship's going to be carrying. That's going to add some pretty crazy capacity. We'll run through the numbers in a little bit. We were able to do this for the very first time ever on our last flight, and so this will be another test. We made a couple of tweaks to the rails for deploying this based off of what we saw last time. I'm excited to see these get out the door. Our next iteration of Starship's also going to have kind of a more powerful PEZ. It's going to deploy these at a little bit faster speed, but looking to see our next demonstration of this hopefully in the next couple of seconds. We should start seeing them move out the door. I mean, that view on your left, so you're basically, that would be if you were sitting on the very top of the nose cone looking down. So there's kind of a short stack. There's 4 on either side, so 8 total. When we start flying Starlinks for their actual deploy missions, we're going to be carrying stacks of about 60. So much larger stack once we start flying these operationally. but still doing a little bit of a short just for this payload deployment.
Looks like we got a little bit of movement there, Dan.
Coax it out. Get it moving, Jake.
There we go. All right, first one going out. Getting ready for the second one here. We do a little reset back to the center position.
Yeah, it takes about a minute for each one.
Looks real smooth too. They made a couple of tweaks to those rails. If you watched the last one, it had a couple of bumps on the way out, but moving out super clean this time.
Yeah, and as noted earlier in the show, but definitely worth repeating, Starship will deploy Starlink's more advanced V3 satellites, adding 60 terabits to the network per launch. So that's 20 times more than each Falcon 9 launch does today. Just incredible.
Yeah, and anybody that's been following Starship, you know, Starlink's kind of the MVP for these flight tests, where it's not only giving us the views we're seeing right now, but also just real-time data through every phase of flight. So we've got a couple dozen cameras on Starship. We've also got a bunch of cameras spread across the globe, including out in the Indian Ocean, where we've got our fun buoys floating. There goes another one. And I mean, we're using Starlink to bring all of this together.
Experience a new benchmark of luxury in the 2026 Infiniti QX80 from Kelly Infiniti. With its bold stance and refined design, the QX80 offers an elevated, full-size SUV experience. From its refined twin-turbo performance to a tri-zone climate control system and available first and second row massaging seats, the QX80 is brilliantly crafted to ensure everyone rides in total comfort. Click now to learn more.
Okay, we've got 4 Starlink terminals on the outside of Starship. It uses that to talk to the constellation. And through that, we actually get about 120 megabits of bandwidth for our downlink. That's our real-time HD video, all of our telemetry. So it's not just kind of giving us these cool views inside, but it's giving all that engineering data in real time, including re-entry. But normally a plasma layer builds up and blocks you out. Starlink, powerful enough of a frequency that we're able to kind of punch through that and still get that live view. All right, next one out the door. There we go.
All right, yeah, Starlink is the world's largest satellite constellation operating in low Earth orbit to deliver high-speed, low-latency broadband internet. This provides internet access to people around the world, many of who have never had connectivity before. Today, Starlink serves more than 150 countries, territories, and other markets with over 7 million active customers and counting. To meet the global growing demand for high-speed internet, SpaceX expanded its factory over in Bastrop, Texas, which is just outside of Austin, and also introduced Starlink Mini, as well as an upgraded version of the Starlink Standard kit.
Yeah, and one thing to note about the satellite deploy is that they will be following the same suborbital trajectory of the ship. So these dummy sats will not be going in orbit. We do expect them to burn up on re-entry.
couple more to go. I promise one of these days we'll deploy in daylight. But we're basically trading deploy in the dark so we get those re-entry views for the daytime.
Now with payload deploy complete, Starship will now close its payload doors and continue to coast around Earth to the Indian Ocean. We still have a ton of major events to come today, including Raptor relight at about T plus 37 minutes. That will be followed by atmospheric re-entry and splashback. So with that, we're going to go on another quick coast. With that payload door closed, we're going to sit tight, enjoy the views, and enjoy the space jams. Again, we'll be back in just a few minutes for Raptor relight and then head back for re-entry. All right, welcome back, everyone. If you're just joining us, you did miss some exciting stuff because Starship successfully deployed its second ever payload, 8 Starlink simulator satellites. And now we're expecting the relight of a single sea-level Raptor engine in space coming up here just after T plus 37 minutes. So about a minute left to go.
Yep, just a little while. I think we're tracking to 37 in around 49 seconds or so. So we should be just about a minute and a half where, again, as Amanda just said, we're going to relight one of those center engines.
Good morning, welcome to the Dawn Patrol. I'm Bob Hoey, your host today. Sitting next to me we have Sean, is that how you pronounce your first name?
Yes.
Mcdonough, City Council, doing a great job so far. And we'll have Sam Meas at 7. We got our friend back from Puerto Rico, Cisco Maldonado. And next to him is Tom Bomil. Behind the camera is John Mcdonough. And boy, what a crowd we're going to have here today. I can't wait to really get Sam Meas in here, as he carries himself pretty well, Tom.
Did anybody watch the debate yesterday with the no-show Vanna Howard? Anybody watch the debate here? It was good.
No.
I thought Joe and Sam held their ground. They did good, both of them. Yeah.
Well, Sam's real good when it comes to speaking, which is hard, And he's a good-looking Cambodian. I love saying that. He is. There's no doubt about it.
You always tell him that.
Well, yeah. But along come Joe.
Yeah.
Joe Espinola, and that's
who's not a good-looking guy.
Oh, Joe's a great guy.
No, Joe, I work with him, so I'm just
As a matter of fact, I grabbed a few extra signs of Joe's if anybody needs one. But Joe Espinola's like family to me. His brother Ricky, God bless his soul, was a friend, a big, close friend of mine. So that's how you relate to somebody. But in your district, like the gentleman next to me, what I like about you so far is, to me, you've been representing your district. That's what's important. Thomas, back me up on that.
Oh, yeah.
Right? That's all you've got to worry about. Don't worry about the Highlands.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Thank you.
Because that's what happens. People go away from the district, I think, and they're thinking, like Eric, when he decided to go citywide, he wanted to represent the whole city.
Yeah.
Be content, represent your district and do the best you can for your district, because people always, I remember as a kid growing up in politics, and everybody always say, you don't forget who your state representative is, because that's when the reps were in your district, and it's not like it now where they're out in chumps and whatever. You always remember your rep.
And this combination, Tom, today, Sergio to me is, well, I'll call him the Cisco kid.
Cisco kid.
I think he's going to bring things to the show that's going to help our high school, which you work in, ironically, Sean.
I do.
3,200 children, about 50% of them are, to me, I like to say Puerto Rican, but it's Spanish, all kinds of Spanish people. But don't forget, 50% is Spanish. That's why getting Sergio on the show is going to be unbelievable in the next few months. And it's all going to be about the schools with me. I recently, if I carry on, just stop me. I recently went to one of the school committee meetings, and they were in executive session, and I went up the back stairwell and came out and seen them all sitting there. Hi, how you doing? What time's the school committee start? And it's an executive session going on.
Oh, in the city council chambers?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
But I want to see the mayor operate with the schools, because to me, believe me when I say it over and over, nothing's more important than our
I
schools.
always thought they did executive sessions in the mayor's reception.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I said.
Well,
Maybe there's something going on in
whatever,
there.
with this mayor here, you never know, you might need more
Yeah.
room.
Yeah.
I do. I think the mayor's going to do more for the schools than he's going to do for the city. He can only do so much when you don't have the exact votes you need all the time, the majority. But I was
So
impressed.
Bobby, who's Sergio?
I'm glad somebody asked.
That's
Don't
all
mind.
right.
Don't
it's
mind.
fine.
The Cisco kid.
My cousin.
Oh, you're talking about Cisco.
Cisco.
Yeah.
Cisco kid.
Oh, all
I
right.
understand though.
Okay, Serge.
I like that.
See, but, let me get back to the schools before
When he
I
gives a
forget.
parking ticket, it says Sergio.
Yeah, Sergio.
You got to remember, I'm on about 14, I think, or 15 different medications every day, so I might carry on here. And
Sound like my
I
wife.
don't mean it. I don't mean it if it happens. But it's so important to talk about is the facilities and the schools. You got 29 schools and you got so many city buildings, it's unbelievable of a job. And when you have, for years I criticized the low building department, which I'm not pronouncing it correctly, but it's the people that repair your schools. Nothing against them, but they don't have the talent to keep up with that type of job. And facilities has been a big issue, talked about obviously, and they tried to bring it up at the school committee meeting. And I want to give some credit to Danielle McFadden. She's going to make this an interesting couple of years. The way she came in and talked about that issue after, I think it was the mayor that brought the issue to the school committee, just to talk about facilities and getting a place together so they can maintain all our buildings out of one building and have what you need. And Danielle was fabulous. She comes in prepared, on paper. She's reading it, doesn't matter. She was prepared. And I think what they're going to have to do, and I'll throw this out quickly and throw it to my next friend over there, they're going to have to explain or show the school committee the maintenance of effort. Well, let's call it the Jerry Nutter factor. Well, the unions are not going to want to do anything with the city, especially going partners in, building a facilities place, unless you show them that maintenance of effort issue. That keeps coming up one way or another all the time, because it's about John's favorite subject, money. Just money. Jobs, money, all that good stuff. But we need a facilities place, in my eyes. So You want to hit that a little bit, Sean, or just I'll pass it over to Cisco if you want to just sit back and relax.
I'm enjoying what I'm hearing.
No, I want to hear what
No,
Sean has to say.
yeah, I do.
Sean's-
Yeah, I'm one of these, like you call them, political junkies. I live in Drake, but I watch the city council meetings. We get them in Drake on cable rebroadcast.
And by the way, before I go to Sean, you're looking sharp today, suit, coat, the tie, the whole 9 yards.
Thank you.
You know, my friend, I brought it up to John Mcdonough. I said, hey, John, you got a dress code. You know, Marty Laurie's a good friend of mine, but he don't like to dress up, you know.
But I have to say, thank you, Bobby.
Somebody got fired.
So,
No.
He'll be back.
We can get him back.
But watching the council meetings in Drake, it seems that so far, are there 3 new councils or 4? Three. You seem to be standing out, and I'm not saying that just because you're here. I mean, it seems like, I see Duran, and I forget the other guy's name even.
Leanne.
You speak out at every meeting. You're speaking on different issues. What you did was a bold move. It was the last meeting's going. Really, that was a bold move. God bless you. So I just wanted to give you a compliment on what I've seen so far, how you're acting, and I predicted you were going to be a great counselor, and and you're doing good for your district. Don't forget your district, like Bobby said. You know,
and it's, he's kind of, probably, I like to use the word jolted, the city council. What? The last issue, like you were talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead. Talk whatever you
go ahead,
want
buddy.
to talk about.
So I called in. I got the advice from the State Ethics Commission. Figured out if I was allowed to speak, and if I was allowed, how I had to speak. And they made very clear that under the city councilor's exemption, which is section 20 of the conflict of interest law, you can't officially act on anything that is under the purview of the department you work for. So, but then to officially act is defined as being on the council floor, using any privileges that come with being on the city council when you're speaking. No voting, no speaking from the floor, no engaging in debate, but you can register and speak as a member of the public. I kept very quiet that I could register to speak as a member of the public. I registered to speak right before the deadline to register to speak, which is, I think, how I managed to pull that off.
Yeah.
I am not opposed to a joint facilities department. I think, Bobby, I agree with you that we need to find a way to maintain our buildings efficiently. I think that the way it came forward at that council meeting through that home rule petition that really would have let the city council do whatever they wanted with or without the school committee on any number of issues, not just the facilities issue, was and still is just the wrong way to go about getting to a more efficient maintenance plan.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. But I know Paul Georges. I had to deal with him for about 7 years. They're going to fight hard, the union, to say no way. No way. Especially if it's going to cost the schools any money, until you show them the bottom line, maintenance of effort.
Well, I think the maintenance of effort agreement is important. I think I don't work for the UTL. I only work for the school department. However, beauty of being in elected office is lots of people want to talk to you. I don't know that they would oppose any sort of joint facilities outright. I think that you also have other unions that may or may not push in. You have the custodial agreement that can always be renegotiated and can be added to include tradespeople. But if you're not going to have any of those conversations, and instead you're going to go straight to letting the city council without the school committee by a unanimous vote, by a majority vote, do anything with the school department, I think that would make union and non-union personnel at school side pretty nervous to say, oh, well, we thought we had these 8 bosses. This was the board that ran us. This home rule petition is more or less going to, it's going to neuter that board, because now anytime there's 6 votes city side, they can do whatever they want.
Okay, so the second thing I'd like to talk about with you would be the Bishop Markham Housing Project. To me, almost every meeting you attend, I would bring that subject up a little bit because I don't like anything that's going on in that housing. I want it like the North Common, just like the North Common. It's pretty simple. It really is. I mean,
there are a few housing. It's more than just the Bishop Markham complex at this point.
I understand. I was sitting in the parking lot over at Jerry's, I call it, next to Santoro's. I call Santoro's, and it was the holiday, and I just wanted to take a ride through the city, and it was pretty shabby.
I think you're talking safety-wise. Is that what you're talking about being Bishop Markham?
It's an ugliness, that's all,
yeah.
and it's mental health, no doubt about it, and they need state help, not just from the city. You know, you look to the right side, there's a big police station sign there. You know, and then I'm just someone that don't see, what can they do? What can the policemen do? There's not much they can do without the help of mental health people.
I think you're right, and so we do need to make sure that we're taking care of the Bishop Markham, the people that live in Bishop Markham. But there are affordable housing complexes throughout the city, but really throughout my district, that are all in need of very similar help. Maybe not to the same degree, but similar oversight. And they're not all LHA properties, but they are all affordable housing. And you have some buildings that have had community rooms that have been shuttered since COVID. And the management company has said, well, we're just never going to reopen this. And so these guys have, in the winter, the people that live in that building, they have nowhere to go. Where are they supposed to go? They can't, you're not going to go outside. It's 5 degrees. You live here. You pay rent here. You had a community room. 6 years ago, the world shut down, and they still haven't opened their community room back up. You have people sleeping in those, people using the bathroom in that stairwell, too.
We have a lazy board of directors. Call them out by name. The city council meeting. You got a board of directors. Who runs the city? The city councilors.
This is true.
Call them out by name. Call the board of directors for the Lowell Housing Authority. Call them out by name. They're community icons. Embarrass them.
Sean,
I think the other part of it, though, is that our inspectional services needs to be holding our friends accountable too, because it's not just the Lowell Housing Authority. There are a few property management groups that also own large affordable housing developments, and they also need to have a visit from inspectional services. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
And I want you to know I'm not here to pick your brains or dump on you over any issue. I'm here to help you. You might not know that something like that. I know a lot of the people that live in the housing over here, that's how they make a few extra dollars, by selling prescription drugs to people. And it just passes on, and then after a while, they're not going to be on prescription drugs. They're going to be
Cisco, this message is from the mayor. Would you read it?
And it costs money and needs proper organization to maintain buildings. The issues with buildings is they cut corners on maintenance and have zero oversight. This leads to premature life expectancies of all the buildings and poor classroom environments. I agree. I mean...
Did you say that was the mayor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling in and sending messages to us. We need your help. The schools need your help, and you're going to be a great mayor.
I think the question. Sorry.
Go ahead.
The question is it's that proper organization piece, right? Because I agree. I think we are currently cutting corners. We are currently not.
What's the matter? Your sister's not doing a good job?
Well, so if you give the group power that does exactly what you're talking about to set up a facilities department, well, then what do we expect?
Just ask your colleagues on the city council. Put your hand up if you got a job through the manager.
Well, I think you're going to be really excited for Councilor Liang's motion tonight.
Okay.
I saw that.
What's his motion?
I saw that on Facebook or somewhere.
They're talking about the person.
It was a demographic report. Blah 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 blah. A lot of work. Like I don't want to. Yeah, you get it up. I don't want to get it wrong. But at the end of it was, in addition to the demographic and who lives in Lowell, who doesn't live in Lowell, it was also, do you have family members that work for the city?
Yeah, but if you see what's going on right now, they're trying to not get the motion to go forward by saying it's going to invade some of the privacy information on the employees. So, which is a valid point.
No. You make the lawyers say that. Don't let the administration. Don't let the administration say that. You make the lawyers say that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Lawyer, what's your opinion? I don't think he'll speak on. I don't think he'll. Hey, your flaw is that lawyer works for Golden.
Well, I think that was pretty obvious after I spoke at the podium.
He didn't know what you were talking about.
When the guy, they as a rule, I watched when I think it was Corey Robinson a couple of years ago, put something in asking about ethics and taking a job for the city after being a city councilor or whatever, and the same people that just lost their mind on me calling ethics and speaking at the podium, including the city solicitor, said, "Oh, we don't talk about the ethics of individuals and blah blah. You're being mean because of who was being talked about." But this time, the city solicitor stands up there and says, "Well, he broke the law." It's like this guy has no idea what he was talking about.
I make a motion. We fire the city solicitor.
We can't.
That's what I'm looking for. Yes.
Okay.
You can make the motion and let him tell you that.
Jerry Nutt is calm. I think it's a valid point. Let's see who's working for us.
Well, we pay them. We pay upper management in the city very, very well. I think making sure that we're hiring people that are qualified for the job and not just who knew the right person is a good idea.
Do you want me to read Councilor? Is it Lang? Is that how you say his name?
Yeah.
Motion by Councilor Lang for tonight's council meeting.
Tonight's meeting.
Require the city manager to have the HR department provide a summary of a demographic report, including city staff residency, Lowellians versus non-Lowellians, by leadership level. Additionally, include the percentage of respondents who answered yes to the question pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 268A. Please indicate if you have any family members employed by the City of Lowell in the City of Lowell's employment application form. So that's what his motion is. There's people going to challenge us? Is that what do you
We'll
guys
see
say?
if it gets withdrawn.
I hope not.
Well, this is one of those motions we talked about when Marty Laurie
This
was
is where
here.
the phone calls start.
I know.
This is one of those motions that we talked about when Marty was here about the 7-4 vote. I think the votes are there to pass the motion. Remember, Marty always said the votes would turn with the new council. What do you think, Bobby?
Yeah, I'm glad who we have as the commander of the ship, okay? Eric Gitchie. Who knows more about all these issues we're talking about right now? Every issue. We have a mayor that knows about the issues.
He does his homework.
So,
yeah.
I don't know if it's so much doing his homework. I called him the other day. I'm pretty sure, if I'm mistaken, he'll call in. He was in Kentucky watching baseball. Pretty sure it must be his son coaching or something like that. But my friends down there, Kevin Scott, someone that's been on this show. Lowell's got some great things coming up, I'll tell you. You're lucky to be on there, Sean. But that's what we should all be doing, is just focus on Sean for the next half hour.
Cisco, another message from the mayor.
Well, I'm the only one that reads it. There is no privacy issues. It's public record, and you can't discuss something read it in the budgets released to the public every year.
Lawyers push agendas.
Yes, I agree there. I think, I put it like this. If you're in a small community, small town, and the jobs are all given to the same family, that town would be very upset because, percentage-wise, it's supposed to represent everyone in the town, not just one family. So I agree. We have 30,000 citizens here in Lowell.
That's a good guess.
And if you want to be fair, and it's Simple transparency, government transparency. Everyone that's up there ran with that on their cards, right? Transparency. So let's put it out there.
I think it's so just in going to welcome to budget season. We're still a couple months out, but not really. I've been going through. I haven't done 22 yet. I've done the proposed budgets 23, 24, 25, and 26 so far, and I'm making my own little tracking sheet. And I think when you look, you want to talk about whether or not somebody works for the city and by is related to somebody or whatever, and by leadership level. When you look at the raises that these people have gotten over the last really 2 years, but call it 3 years, but really 2 years, I think it's a really valid question. I think it's a very valid question to understand who we're giving
two-digit raises, right?
$70,000 raises to over 3 years.
When I say two digits, I mean percentage.
You have some people, but you have
more than
two-digit
the 1
yes.
or 2%. You're talking over
22.
10%.
You're
Yes.
talking
One at a time.
Sorry, in some cases you're talking 20+%.
Yeah.
You're talking about taking someone who is making in the, they were making 190 maybe, and now they're making 250.
I know. I know.
You know, I've been retired for 15 years, and Saturday night I'm going to Salisbury to watch a cover band, Aerosmith cover band. A guy that brings me all the time. He's still working in the prisons. Last year he made $330,000. In overtime.
But when you look
overtime, the money is crazy.
When you look city side, so here's a really good one. We go through, we get our we got a budget update in this packet, and you go through, and I had already started going through prior year's budgets, and there's this selection in the informational that we got for tonight's meeting that includes a few of the positions that are still being funded by ARPA, and that's going to be too bad, right? Except included in that is $136,000 for the library's bookmobile. Now, the library might be the only department that hasn't seen 20% plus raises over the last 3 years. You have a library director who went from making $100,000 to like 105, or maybe she was at 108. I'd have to look at the budget. It's like it was like 700, and I'm going to round it to $750,000 in super bonus raises to the highest level employees. So we're sorry, kids, you don't get the bookmobile at your school anymore. We really have to pay. We got to pay my buddy another $50,000, and his buddy also needs another $50,000, and now that one only gets $30,000. We only like him a little bit. That's insane to be talking about potentially cutting that bookmobile service while we're paying people who are already paid a really good wage 20% more money than we were. Insane.
Yeah. The thing that you didn't catch a couple of years back, when the mayor was just a city councilor like you, sitting off to the side, brought up a motion to take his paycheck out of the budget, line item for line item, because he can't get paid. Works out at the Greater Low Technical High School. He couldn't even get a second on that. Imagine. And Tom, it was always, he was lucky to get two people to vote.
Yeah, and now that's changed, I think. Now I think that you're going to, and I brought that up, that the change in the council, he should have his vote. So he should be able to get seconds. He should be able to, more issues will be discussed. For example, this motion by Council Lang, I think it will pass.
Your district again, right, when they fixed Elman Chapel, remember the big dip in the road here?
I do.
Yeah. Now it's beautiful. Well, they fixed it. Dangerous intersection right there. Well, the average is maybe 20 to 29 cars a month, or maybe 2 months. I don't have all the numbers, but I do talk to the people that live there. Break-ins into their automobiles. It's happening all the time. Back Central is, I don't know if Cisco knows anything about that little district there, but it has its share of things like that, property theft,
One of the big problems in Back Central right now, just very quickly, is that the state of Massachusetts doesn't take care of their buildings. So the two courthouses that are in Back Central, you think that our DPW, and I know now the phone calls are really going to start coming in. You think the city of Lowell did a not great job on winter operations this year? You think we did? We didn't get the sidewalks cleared, the snowbanks. You're right, we did a bad job, but in front of the Superior Courthouse on Gorham Street, I went skiing down Gorham Street last week, and it's still there. And that's the state of Massachusetts. I'll put the video up on Facebook. I strapped a pair of downhill skis on, and I went skiing down the sidewalk.
Am I correct that it has to be, because I drove by the Hurd Street Courthouse. Did the city dump all their snow in their parking lot? It's loaded. It's all snow. Mounds and mounds of snow.
One, yeah, I don't know the negative. I don't know.
Yeah. Go take a ride when you go.
No, I've seen it. I've seen it. I don't. I
want to go back to.
Excuse me.
Go ahead, Bob. Just very quickly, we're just going back to the housing issue down here on Bishop Markham, and John made up a good point about their board of directors, and their board of directors, I believe, if I'm not correct me if I'm wrong.
The creme de la creme of the city.
No, but 4 of the 5 members are appointed by the city manager through the city council. Some of those salaries, the Lowell Housing Authority, are astronomical. They should be required to have their own, I've said it before, security company. They're 24/7 watching, because the police can't do it by themselves. And not 24/7, not just I think somebody
Tell me
said.
they should pick up their own trash.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Why does the city subsidize Lowell Housing's trash?
You know, getting back to what Tom said, though, I believe strongly that issue there, you could fix so many issues by having their own security, only because if they don't do the job, you fire them. It's as simple as that, right? Yeah. And it would scare the people that are selling drugs out of our housing. And homelessness, that will just be pushed aside, but at least it's away from schools like they plan on doing. Your neighborhood, I just want to stick to some issues there. It's a great neighborhood too. It has a lot of diversity, obviously. I'm dying to see what you're going to do in the next year, because it's already making me smile at home when I'm watching the city council meeting. Because if you focus on your district, like I said to you, and just stay on it, you won't get much support.
So
you won't get much support.
I have a question for
Cisco's
the counselor.
been very quiet today.
For the counselor, and I'm listening, and
Just a second.
this is a city I grew up poor, and my thing is, I feel like the agenda presently in the city is like gentrification, bring in money, and it seems like they're forgetting the real poor people, Bishop Markham, the people in Back Central, the people that are just barely making ends meet and are working 2 jobs, who can't really go out and advocate for their needs. And it just seems like everything's being turned off for those folks, and the agenda in the city is just for something new and improve. And I think there's a lot of people falling through the cracks in the city, and it's shameful that the city council or the folks forget the very poor people in the city.
Here are the board of directors for the Lowell Housing Authority.
Oh, nice.
And so
I thought there were only 5. There's more than 5 that's in here. Wow.
I think it's a free gig.
I'm sure it is.
I don't think you get paid.
I didn't even know Dave Willett was on the Housing Authority.
So
It is
they're the ones that are not opening the rec room at the Bishop Markham.
No,
they don't
it's not the rec room. The rec room at the Bishop Markham, that one I actually don't know, but the rec room issue is one of the private property management companies that has, it's not an LHA property, it's the...
Is it in the building?
Yeah.
Then it is an LHA property. They own the building.
Which building?
If it's in
it's affordable housing, they own it. Yeah, you're right. Okay. You're right. But it's the management company. There is a management company.
Well, there's somebody to point a finger at, but it doesn't make no difference.
This is true.
Is that your sister's company?
It is not.
This is Lowell.
This is Lowell.
So we've got all these
thing. I don't get it.
upstanding Lowellians who are on the board what's going on over there. And just ask any one of them.
I didn't know they had that many. Wow, I thought it was a 5-member person.
Do they
board.
meet regularly? That would be what I would ask.
Do they show up?
Yeah. I mean,
I didn't know. Wow, they expanded their board because I thought it was a 5-person board.
I know many of these people, good people. I guess you need a new executive director. If he's embarrassing the board and the public, you need a new executive director. That's what you need.
Yeah.
A board of directors, you only have one employee, the executive director.
but you know.
But I think, sorry, I think one of the things that the city has before you get to this point that I don't think we have been doing is using inspectional services and hitting them. Like when there are violations and we're catching them and fining them, to me, that's what our job is first, and then you point at those and you say, why are we racking up this list of citations versus, look, we all know the Bishop Markham thing, right? We all know, everyone who lives in Bishop Markham knows, I know, everyone sitting here knows.
Do you feel safe walking through the Bishop Markham village?
Not at nighttime. I walk through a lot. I walked through a lot over the summer. I don't walk through a lot right now because it's really cold out.
Yeah.
But
when the weather breaks, will you be walking through?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
It's my district. I walk everywhere.
Good. Because they have kids that are afraid to use the pool.
Right.
Yeah, and most of the people that are put in housings over here, just friends of politicians that, can you get me a place, please? Can you get me a place?
I think, one of the things I notice too right now in the city is if you're doing pretty well, there's nothing to keep you in the city. So you don't notice what's going on in these poor parts of the city. You live in the city, you go and commute out of the city, you go shopping in New Hampshire, you go having your dinners in Burlington. There's nothing for the wealthy people, let's face it, the people that are working and making decent money in the city, to have them commute through the city and see some of the bad things that are going on in the city. And the other thing is the police department has done a great job that it's a safe city, so those folks are not being affected at home, so they're not seeing the Bishop Markham issue, the homeless issue at South Common. Because there's nothing, let's face it, there's no businesses to keep you in the city.
Yeah,
I mean, when there's less eyes on a problem, guess what happens to the problem? It goes away. Nobody sees it.
When you live in Lowell, right, or this area, you go to Market Basket, which I do 3 times a week. My wife says I'm crazy. I love going to Market Basket. It is the second best chain in the country. It's been on TV recently, even though they got a family feud going on. Number 2, it's ranked. And I walk in the other day and I'm seeing these carriages to the top with food, overflowing. And I got that 1/3 of a carriage, maybe 150. But if it's full, it's got to cost $300 to $400. I don't care what you're buying. Especially if you put in steak.
I was on Bridge Street last week saying there was a lady in front of me, and it said a full carriage was $375, which I could see.
But
yeah.
I see it, and it's not, what's the word? I'm not jealous about that. I just look at it and say, what am I doing wrong? And then I go home and my wife says, Bob, the heating and light bills this month combined for $900. I'm like,
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You kidding me? I don't even know how people are doing it. It's
here.
not.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of poor people in the city, and I'm glad we got Sergeant Maldonado. That's how I should address you.
Sergeant Maldonado, yes.
Well,
I mean, honestly, Bob, I don't know how you feel, but I really feel that the people in need in this city are not being looked at, because the fact that the people that have money in the city are living fairly cheap, because it's a cheap city to live, and they're taking their resources and going out of the city. There's nothing to bring them into these areas where there's people in need, where you'll see stuff that would be shocking to your eyes, and you'll be like, what's going on in my city? And I think the less eyes that we have on the problem, that problem's not going to be addressed. And until it becomes a major problem in Lowell, a lot of these things like Bishop Markham is a major problem, but there's not enough eyes on it to shout out and say, what are we going to do about this? Because there's not a lot of people being affected that have money to make change or to scream or get attention from their politicians.
You know, we sit here and we talk about nepotism and families are all related, getting these big jobs. If you really looked into all these things, check out the housing, Bishop Markham. They won't let you get a list, but if you could get a list of names that are in there, they're all, most of them, I'll go half, 50-50 at least, are connected to some type of issue. Like they got fired from a certain job, like the registry, and political hacks and law will get them a job. Don't worry about it, we'll put you in the housing. I have people tell me over the years, why don't you just sell your house, Bob? Get rid of your house. Don't live here. Look at me, they're living near the Concord River, which I loved my whole life to go fishing there. I'm only paying $185 a month to live there. Oh, God bless you. I'm not living in a place like that. They say like that? Yeah. See how those people deal with bed bugs, roaches. It's unbelievable, you know.
It's a brand new building.
It's just...
They bring them with them.
The old West End gym, you don't think there's no rats running around that complex? When you're near the canal like that, John, it's automatic, yeah.
Bobby, it's a beautiful area.
Yeah, I know. I love the way things are happening. I'm happy. I mean, I'd like to get potholes fixed on my street, and I'd like to get a speed bump right in front of my house so I could hear the cars slow down or hit that speed bump. I love those speed bumps.
I think to go to Cisco's point for a second.
Yeah.
I think part of, you sound like me during the campaign. There is nothing to do, and then people look at me like, "Well, there's plenty to do. There's this festival, and there's this, and yeah, they're great, and they're one weekend, and then they're done." You're right. It's great. I love it. I love it too.
Winterfest.
What?
Winterfest.
I can't wait. The 28th.
Yeah, a
right?
guy from New Jersey is coming to make a cake. But part of the problem is you talk about two problems. There's more than that, but the two that I'll talk quickly on is one. The more people you have move into my neighborhood that are paying market rate rents or are buying a condo and are paying pretty good money to live in downtown Lowell, and then they look and they say, how come it's been 3 weeks and I still can't cross the Western Canal Bridge to get to Market Basket? Why do I need to bring ice spikes and snowshoes with me for my walk to the grocery store a week, 2 weeks out? I pay how much money to live in this city? This is right. So that's part of whether it's a growing pain or it hurts. Depends on if we get this fixed. Because if you're paying market rate rents downtown, if you're paying $2,400, $2,500, $2,600 a month to rent an apartment in a city, and you need snowshoes to walk on the city-owned part of the sidewalk a week plus out from a snowstorm to get to the grocery store, at some point you're going to wonder what you're paying for. And it never mind what you got inside. I'm very excited for that pocket park on Jackson Street for that to open. When you think about South Common, there's a real lack of amenity at South Common. There's a pool in the summer. And
it's
then
not used.
It's underutilized. There's no playground, really.
Cisco?
If government cares about the people, then they wouldn't be fighting an audit.
Good point.
Yes.
Sean, you said in front of the Superior Courthouse over here.
Yeah.
Not shoveled at all?
No.
Oh, I can show you.
So
So
I remember about 5 or 6 years ago, my son lives up in the Highlands. He has a house up there. It was our family house. And for some reason, I don't know if he was working, he didn't shovel. He got a ticket. He paid the ticket. Ever since then, he's made sure that sidewalk shoveled.
Right.
How come they don't ticket the Commonwealth of Massachusetts?
That's a great question.
All right.
Oh, did we get it?
Not
No,
the
that
front.
worn down.
Not the front.
Got the front.
But yeah, 'cause my son got ticketed, and he learned a lesson, and now I know he's.
Oh, it could be done.
That would be incredible if they finally got it.
I recently got a ticket. I gotta go pay that.
No, I don't think so, John. I
Is
don't
that
know.
the sidewalk in front of the state?
It looks like it might be.
Superior Court. Yeah. The old.
Why don't I
Superior?
take a walk down and I'll be back and see if it's
Yeah.
done.
I think they finally did.
Yeah. It
To
looks
be
like-
fair,
yeah,
it's
it
been
looks like-
has it been 4 weeks yet?
Yep, it's been done.
Finally.
That looks to be done for
Yeah.
today.
Good. I couldn't tell on the drive in this morning. It took them a very, very long time to get that done.
But still,
Do you
the
know
point
that-
is what I just told you.
Yes,
about my
I agree
son.
with you.
It's the average citizen gets ticketed, but the Commonwealth of
Yeah,
Massachusetts.
but how many employees do we have, honestly, that are not managers or top managers or assistant managers or inspectors? We're the worker bees, all right? We're paying a lot of money for managers to manage
they
people, and who are they managing?
So
You know, if you're making 200,000, I would expect you're managing at least 100 people.
That'd be a good question to ask the manager. Mr. Manager, kindly provide us with a list for everyone who makes over $99,000 a year, who works for the city. And he'll say, including the schools? Yeah, every Tom, Dick, and Mary who works for the city of Lowell, who makes over $99,000 a year, give me a list of who they are and what they do.
You'll get an even better list, if you up that by $70,000.
But when you
No,
look,
if it starts at 99,
You'll get a very big list if it starts at 99. I'm saying the targeted version
what's
of
the
that
average salary of a Lowellian?
that works for the city or in general?
No, a
Yeah,
resident.
32,000.
median household, yeah,
That's the average.
So I think 99 is a good start.
that's fair.
Yeah.
yeah,
There are people who would never dream of making $75,000 a year.
Yeah.
And
you
yet
know,
we
an
get-
issue we sit here and talk about all the time is mental health. And when you look at just that issue alone, if you go back 30 years in any budget, they didn't have like the schools have, social workers, psychiatrists, you name it, the gamut. I mean, everything to do with mental health. That's where about 90% of that large pay scale that you're talking about comes from.
Oh boy.
I was waiting for that call.
Oh, boy.
I love it.
Morning, Eric, you want to go on? Hang on a second, okay?
A mayor that's on 24/7.
Okay, you're on, Eric.
Good morning, everyone. How are you?
Good morning, Mr.
Good
Mayor.
morning, Mayor.
I don't know how you guys do it, but you bait me into these conversations every morning.
We know you're up.
I'm going to make just a statement for you. In government, you'll see the easiest thing in the world to plan is housing. Anybody can build housing. It takes real leadership to push businesses to get here, so people have actually a means to make money to afford that housing. And the Napoleon, the HCID, when he took advantage of us, and we went from creating business down there to basically one big apartment building, you're creating a community that's reliant on government resources. And who better would receive more money if you're reliant on government resources than the people who work for government? So that's all they're doing to you. And they're doing this to the city, and we've all known it for a long time. You put your friends in positions, you create boards that are with your friends, and then you also create nonprofits that are filled with your friends, and then you create a resource that will keep you employed and making huge money for the future. And that's what Lowell has become. Look around, look at the planning. The planning is direct housing. UMass Lowell has set a statement back to the city. They said, we're going to bring in business so that our kids who graduate from here will have a job because you're not doing it. And you're just creating one big social service network that's reliant on the state and the federal government. And then they want to come out and say, hey, let's not take federal government regulations and we'll just snub them and see how long that's going to last us in our federal government world. And that's one of the major issues that we're dealing with. We have people who are politicians who know how to create the fat. They've created the fat, and here it is. And now it's time to pay back. So I'll leave you guys with that. I won't have a comment back.
We're going to try to get you back.
I think
Well, have a good
Thank you, Mayor, for calling in.
Thanks, Eric.
Have a good meeting. Thanks, Eric.
If I could quickly pile on, I thought because Mr. Mayor brought up Hamilton Canal and the absolute, I don't know, fill in the blank that turned into. I could not believe the put salt in the state of the city was fine. That video was fine, but then there was this section of that video, and sitting there watching it, and I brought up during my campaign my feelings on what went down with Mr. Lipoli, and why part of the reason I ran is what went down with Mr. Lipoli, and me thinking that was wrong. And then you're sitting there for the state of the city, and oh, we did this, and oh, we did that, and oh, we did this, and then there's this whole section where they go, oh, and then we sold out Hamilton Canal, and we let Sal Lipoli do whatever he wanted and take advantage of the city, and that was a great thing. We were very proud of the fact that we did that. That was insane to me. That was insane. Not only did we do it, we're happy we did. Absolutely insane.
We're proud.
We're proud. Put it in our year in review video. Put it in our year in review video. They should be embarrassed about that. That was insane. Insane. Well, we're very happy that we got taken advantage of by Sal Lipoli.
I think you guys are going to have a challenging budget period. I think there's going to be some challenges to the city council and the city manager. It's going to be interesting what the feds do financially to the state and whether we're going to get the money that we should get. And it's going to say a lot.
Well, but
what's coming.
Yeah, and we also need to take a look at why we make some of the decisions that we make in Lowell. And I think the mayor is right to a point, but we also need to look at a few of our other friends who we don't often look at. People who, maybe had a long career in public service, and when we see it at the national level, we say, oh, that's the revolving door, right? Oh, you go from being an elected office, and now you're going to go be a lobbyist, or you're going to go be an insider with the industry, and you're going to use all those connections to get more money for the people that pay you. Lowell's full of them. Lowell is full of them, and they call you. And I think people on the outside, they look in and they go, oh, surely there's all these phone calls happening, and oh, this is happening. Maybe it is. And then you win. And you wind up sitting in the seat, and you have people who, I was in grade school when they were actually doing something, but now they really want to be your friend. They want to talk to you, and they want to let you know that this person who, if you look at the state lobbying list, because the state keeps one, you can see who's paid them really good money to call lawmakers on Beacon Hill. And now they're calling you on behalf of that same client, but for the city of Lowell, and don't tell anyone.
To touch base on what Cisco said about Lowell's budget problems, I'm going to tell you, Drake has got some problems. I went in to pay my excise tax and some sewer bills the other day at Town Hall. The girl that waited for me in the tax collector's office, the one that was paying, was the town manager's secretary. That's how they have to move people around. Everybody's helping out because they can't fill positions. I mean, it's like almost a skeleton crew when you walk into Town Hall. A girl left about a month ago. She retired. They're not filling that position. There's another position. Dave Ouellette's, we don't know if they're going to fill his position or combine it with another position. So you're seeing bad budgets, not just in Lowell, but Drake. The town manager's secretary, she was filling and taking collect for paying bills. So.
Cisco, you want to grab this one?
Okay, but don't forget about how government's okayed the Markley building. So who's responsible for that?
I thought,
Thanks for sending that in, Jay.
Didn't Councilor Scott put a moratorium on that or something?
We did. We got it. It's still, it has to go in front of the planning board, and then it has to come back for another vote. It could have been stronger, but it's a good start.
Sure.
So we all know that they're going to come after our house property taxes. Where else can they get money? There's no other place the city can get money right now, other than going up on our property taxes. So I'm expecting that. I'm not going to lie. I think Sam Chase, when he's on the show Thursdays, he always says to me, Bob, you get a good bang for your buck. I absolutely love living here, but go ahead.
So, Bobby,
John, go
I just
ahead,
want to,
John.
while Sean's here, point out what looks to be Markley's exhaust from their generators. And over here is the Sacred Heart Church, just to give a perspective of how much smoke is in this neighborhood, and it's going on for 3 weeks now. They don't shut these off. These are on, to my view, every time I've checked, these have been on for the last 3 weeks. And would you want to live in any of these houses? Would you want your kids, your grandkids to live in any one of these houses?
John, I spent equal time, I think, in that neighborhood for weeks over the summer, and then none of them can vote for me. So, everyone says, "Oh, your district," and mostly, but that.
I'm just showing it to you so you can see.
It's awful. It's
one-on-one. That's what it is.
It's awful. And how did they get there? So she wants to know how did they get there. Well, what they did is they took someone who used to be on the city council, who voted to give them tax incentive financing.
Good guy.
And he wanted the money, and our city solicitor, currently, is where we're at right now, who has an interesting understanding of both open meeting law and conflict of interest, even though it says any particular matter that you came in front of the city council, that came in front of you as a city councilor, you cannot go in front of the city council on behalf of those people for the particular matter. Apparently that doesn't apply to Bill Martin. I don't. No one's explained that to me yet.
It's got to be some type of conflict. I don't care what you.
Well, whether it's, I think it's a conflict. Whether if I'm wrong and it's legally not a conflict, that's okay. This is my opinion. To me, it looks like a conflict, and it also looks like exactly what you do in Lowell, just like you do in lots of other places when you want to do something that is going to be unpopular. You go, you find a former politician, you pay him a good amount of money, and he goes to his friends and gets it through for you.
See it all the time. Seen it in Drake. I see that Sacred Heart Church is in the background there. And I personally know somebody that moved to Drake, and is in the process of moving to Drake. And one of the reasons why they moved out of that condo was because of that building.
And they have bought so much property.
Yeah.
Well, let me just put this in here, okay? Mayor, we good over there?
It's not me.
No, it's not.
Okay, so recently the city of Lowell changed their speed limit to 25 miles an hour. They put signs up, the city of Lowell's speed limit's 25 miles an hour. I say use the same logic, and you say, anybody who puts out this kind of smoke has got to create a smokestack that collects all this smoke and sends it up 150 feet. Now that would take all this smoke out of the neighborhood.
Right.
If you look at all the mills we have in downtown Lowell, the reason we had chimneys was because it was killing the neighborhood.
Just curious, is that steam though, John, over smoke?
Would you want to live here, Bob?
No way, it's a beast. I don't like the building
Just
at all.
asking the question, so this is what's being seen?
Yeah.
Can you imagine the ingredients in this puff of smoke that will kill you?
Yeah, I think steam would be. I'm not an expert.
You can say it's 99% steam and 1% poison.
Well, I wasn't saying it was steam. I'm saying that I think it's smoke. That's just looking at it, but I'm not an expert. So,
well, I think this is why some residents of the neighborhood have been asking for local air quality monitoring, though.
I
And
say
they haven't gotten
you
it.
just
For a decade they've been asking. So that way they can definitively answer this question. Not just is it smoke, but what's in it.
I make a motion, anybody who's making this kind of smoke needs a smokestack that goes up 150 feet immediately. Then put it in their hands. They got tons of dough. They're buying the neighborhood. And once they buy this section, they'll build another complex and move the generators to stink up right up the street. They're bad neighbors.
They are awful
Yeah,
neighbors.
even the way they built that place, it's like a jail. You know, the fence around it, the way it is.
that was the old
But
Prince
huge.
Macaroni, right?
Yeah.
Bobby. My
We
brother
missed
was-
out. That would
Buyer
have been
beware. That's what you have to tell.
that would have been the perfect area for housing for seniors. Real housing for seniors. Not some of this fake stuff we got here.
And what does that company do, Sean? Do we know any? I couldn't tell you.
Data center. So
Data.
they're a data center. They're not.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
They're I'm forgetting the word that I want to use. They're basically a landlord for data centers, though. They are a bunch of space, and they have all of the cooling apparatus, and they have the generators, and then you pay them to move all your equipment in there and run it. And part of the tax incentive that they got, it also covers all of their tenants, and so they're able to entice. Not only did we not tax the structure and Markley themselves, but they are also able to pass on some of those tax benefits to their tenants.
Why are they not greener? Have they ever heard of fresh air?
They don't
Now,
live here.
they're cooling a building off with electricity when it's below freezing outside. Why not suck in the neighborhood air?
Yeah, I think
They're not green.
We also need to take a look at the amount of electricity that these places are using, because while the cost is not supposed to be passed on to Joe the ratepayer in my electric bill or your electric bill, the reality is that when you have these agreements negotiated with a super energy intensive industrial infrastructure like a data center, and that data center is using, I believe it's 40 megawatt hours, they want to be a 50 megawatt center, that much load is causing wear and tear on the grid, and when those replacements need to be made, that cost can be passed on to wherever, because we can't pay to make up for their subsidy, but we can absolutely wind up paying when we need updates to the grid.
Like I said earlier, we're paying a lot right now.
Yeah.
Just look at your bills.
Well, anyone
So
on
mine was
any-
like around yours, but
anyone
$800.
anyone on that grid where that electricity comes from and ends up in that power building is going to pay. It's going to pay for the upgrade. They're not just going to pass along the cost to the end user. They're going to pass it along to all the users so that it becomes less expensive for their customer and less noticeable.
Want to read these two, Cisco?
Who is Jay?
Tax incentives were also given to the university, so it's not just business looking for the type of incentives, Jay. It's a city. If the city's okay that the project Markley, what's to say that the front runner city won't be a challenge to its citizens? I mean, we're not talking about the front runner city anymore. It's not needed to get you elected. So I haven't heard that much. I'd like to know where that stands. Probably somewhere in a comic book somewhere.
I'd like to
Well,
see.
maybe Sean knows. Does he know what's going on with the front runner city?
I know that we have that Mayor Goodcheer made a subcommittee.
Okay.
That's all I've heard.
What subcommittees did you get?
I got
Ones you wanted?
We got
I
10
got all
seconds,
ones I
kids. We
wanted,
got to go to
actually,
break.
We got to go
All
to
right,
break.
breakdown.
Thanks for watching.
We'll be back. Thanks.
Good morning, welcome to the City Life Show. I'm Bob Hoey, the host today. Sean Mcdonough next to me, City Councilor. Sergeant Maldonado, I like to call him now instead of Cisco, back from Puerto Rico at 82-degree temperatures, and we're sitting with 35-degree temperature outside today, not bad.
It's balmy.
It is. And next to him is Sam Meas, candidate, a Republican candidate for state senate, taking the place of my good friend Ed Kennedy. And after him, we got Tom Bomil and John McDonough behind the camera. And we'll start off right now because we already talked to Sean quite a bit, but I'll go right back to you, Sean, in a minute. But Sam, spend some time telling us what you're going to do if you get elected.
Well, certainly one of the primary responsibility, I call it the job of a state senator for any particular district, is to be able to bring back resources to the district. And I know that the city of Lowell is, having a lot of challenges right now with the new high school budget. That is, the city is looking for additional resource and money, and I want to be that person to bring back some of that resource to make sure that the high school is built to the standard that it should be and that it's completed.
I tell you, I just want, before you get into it more, I watched the debate yesterday. You and Joe did a great job. Both were good answers, cordial. It's just too bad that the Democratic nominee could not show up. What a shame to show her true side, But like John said at the end of the show, thanks for nothing. You guys did a great job, both of you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Oh, boy. Thank you. Oh, boy.
All right, that's it. Now we take a break.
Morning.
Cameron, you do realize that's the only reason why you invited on, right?
That's terrible.
I was hoping other reasons, but I get it.
I just want to make sure that the folks out there, March 3rd is the special election day.
2 weeks from today.
2 weeks from today, it's coming. So, also there's some date line. I don't have the dates, but for early, but mail-in requests for your ballot. So make sure if you're going to get that stuff, you looked at those dates up, and don't forget if you don't get a mail-in ballot, March 3rd is the date to go out and vote. It's important for you to get involved. If you're not involved, then you can't say anything bad about what happens down the road.
Good point.
That's
Good point.
true, right? You can't complain.
Yeah.
Well,
And
the best election I ever seen in my life is this lady right next to me. Everybody in the state was against her. The mayor of Boston, the governor, everybody was against her. It was incredible.
Right?
So, go ahead.
You just have to get out there. You have to put yourself out. You have to talk to the people. Those are your voters. Make sure they're out voting.
I think it was insane because now I'm in elected office, right? So this is bad. I shouldn't tell on myself like this. I think that register of deeds race was the first not presidential primary that I was like, no, we're gonna go vote in this one because I gotta vote for Gary.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, it was an incredible race, and I've worked. Tom, you and I have worked for a lot of different people over the years.
Well, Karen was easy because, all kidding aside, she was the most qualified candidate. There's nobody. She had the qualifications. Somebody ran for office that actually did that job. Basically, you were the.
Right.
Yeah. Let's pretend back when Dick Howe was the registered deeds, and let's pretend Dick was out for an illness for like 6 months. You would probably have to take.
Everyone just did their job. They knew what to do.
Yeah. So. Well, she deserved it.
Absolutely. You're the most qualified candidate there is.
You know what turned me on to her was when she ran against her boss. That'd be like me running against John McDonough. We're going to say some things that you don't want to hear. But Sam, you're in quite a race. So you had a Republican candidate. Joe Espinola's the independent candidate. And Carla Miller's already tried to get me a few times for you, Sam.
I do have quite a number of supporters. They're very earnest in their support of my candidacy because they know that when I go up to Beacon Hill, I will not be owned by anybody. Not most, but all of the Democratic representative as well as the senator, they are owned by the Speaker of the House or the Senate President. So essentially, they are being given marching orders how to vote, when to vote, and what to say, basically. And I'm hopeful that my candidacy and my victory will be an impetus to changes, not just in our district but across Massachusetts. What I really want to see is a balance of power. Well, the Republican may not necessarily control the state houses on either houses, but at least they can bring that balance. At least they can bring discussion to issues rather than being told what to vote, how to vote, and when to vote. And case in point, they voted in $3.2 billion in overage on top of the $58 billion fiscal budget. Not a single discussion. And as of now, we have no idea where that $3.2 billion went.
Now, I got a question for you, Sam.
Sure.
On what I've been noticing, oh boy, $1.7 million was given to the Housing Authority for elevators, and the city elevators don't work. Think about that, $1.7 million for elevators, and they don't work. There's an issue there. So we had a city councilor jet setting all over the world for the front-runner city, and that's not being talked about. What has been spent on the government made up front-runner city?
I think it was 700.
So, yeah, I agree with you.
$700,000?
Was what was
I'm not
budgeted for that
I'm not going to say a number and be wrong. But
last question, a question. What happened to Havana Howard, and why was she not in the studio?
She did not respond to it.
She didn't respond. My thing is, and this is personal, if you're a politician, your job is to be out in the public. Whether you like the host or don't like the host, you should be out there when you're requested. That's part of your job. And if you're not doing your job, then you shouldn't be in that job.
But her advisors are telling her not to go on the show.
Well,
John, I think, and Bobby, right? Her advisors are telling her, don't go on a City Life show.
It's a coward mood.
Call it the Abraham Lincoln rule. Better to remain seated and thought a fool than to stand up and remove all doubt.
That's I like that.
I would have told her not to come.
So
on.
back to Sam.
if I were her,
Go
I
ahead.
wouldn't
Back to Sam. One question, and then now I'm going to eat on some of these nice, delicious cookies and cake. So Sam, on what I've been noticing is there is a lot of engagement from the young 25-year-old voter in that age. There are a lot of Republican young voters that are being engaged. Are you able to engage young folks in your campaign right now?
I do. Through my campaign has been focusing on social media, Facebook and Instagram. I don't do so much on X, but I do get a lot of engagement for some of the young voters. It's not really party affiliation, but they understand when I talk about the utility bills, and I explained to them, I put it on the social media, the usage charge versus the delivery charge, and then it woke them up, that they're being taxed on top of taxes, basically. So the state of Massachusetts for too long has been making and forcing our residents to pay tax on those utility bills. But the delivery charge, we are being forced to pay for the solar panels of our neighbors, essentially. We're being forced to pay for all these green energy, green mandates that, not necessarily needed, but the way they went about doing it, I think it's almost illegal, the way I see it. Because if you look at it, you're paying, like, for example, $100 in usage of gas utility, but the green energy mandate make up almost $200 on top of that bill. So, you're paying $200 on $100 purchase that you made. So it's inherently unfair, and then the people are seeing it, they're waking up to it, and that's what my campaign is all about, is that once elected, I want to be able to call for a hearing trying to figure out how we can reduce or eliminate some of these green mandates that are being forced upon us.
You know, I'm going to throw my friend's name, Dominic Lay, out there, because he comes on here. He used to come on here anyway, so I haven't seen him lately.
No, he hasn't been on.
But that's okay, but one thing I'll never forget, I asked him one time, I said, how come the Cambodian people, they don't, stick together? Because they could get elected easy in the city of Lowell once they stick together. And now you have a special election coming up, and Sam, you got Vanna Howard on one side, you on the other. Do you think that's going to split the ticket up maybe a little bit? Do you think that's a plus for you or a negative for you?
I think it's an absolute plus for me, not to begrudge Representative Vanna Howard or anything. She's never been in the community. She's more or less been around with CMAA and a few, a few cliques of her people, but to actually be in front of the people, be engaged in the Cambodian American community or the community at large in general, she is not.
But she lives in Lowell.
She doesn't even show up at shows.
She never show up.
Sam, but she does live in Lowell, right?
I don't live in Lowell, but I work in Lowell, Sean. I work in Lowell. I held your sign. You remember?
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
But I'm engaged in the community. Vanna Howard, when I had a fundraising on October 11 for the refugees who of the internal conflict between Thai and Cambodia border, they had a brief 5-day war. Many people were killed. I had a fundraising. I invited Vanna Howard. I invited Rodney Elliott, Tara Hong. None of them show up, and none of them to this day donated a penny to that cause. Remember, Vanna Howard always campaigned that, I'm a victim of the genocide. I'm a victim of the Khmer. I survived. I'm one of them. But whenever there's a community needs, I'm there. I'm always there. I show up. I donate. But Vanna never donated a penny to that community. Also, I've been talking to a lot of the people I'm a tax accountant. So I do a lot of tax for people who are Lyft driver, Uber drivers.
Oh, yeah.
They're beginning to ask me a question about the mileage tax, basically, for lack of a better word. And I said that, although the language is not very clear, very ambiguous, at the end of the day, all of us who are driving, who are making a delivery, living as a delivery driver, Uber driver, we have to pay tax on those mileage. And in order for the government to have some sort of enforcement mechanism, they have to have incentive for us to, to be in compliance with it. So at the end of the day, those Uber driver, Lyft driver, we have to pay additional taxes when that Senate bill become law.
I'm going to jump over to Cameron. Thank you. Cameron Cassella, the Register of Deeds, sitting right next to me.
Good morning.
Brought in a great plate over there. Looks like I'll have those lemon. These are lemon right there?
Yeah, lemon, cinnamon
you. So-
rolls,
Those
and
cookies?
oatmeal cookies.
Oatmeal cookies.
You know what?
Yes.
Cameron, you gotta drag your mic a little bit, but
What's there's stuff that's soft on them.
It's an
that
oatmeal
looks good.
cookie.
Oof.
Isn't it?
That's too much sugar. I can't do that.
just tighten up the mic.
Oh, that's awesome.
What I would ask, I sit and watch the news. Fox News mostly is what I watch. But I see the commercials a lot of time, and it's people trying to scam the equity I have in my house.
Yeah.
What could people do to make themselves feel better?
So what they should do, there are so many scams out there. I just got on my phone something from New Hampshire saying that I owned property. It was from some attorney that to click on this, if you want protection. And it's a fraud. I'm not going to click on it, but we offer, right on our website, it's a consumer notification program. You just have to go on the website, you want to scroll down to the bottom and you sign up. And you have to, right now, we only can put in an email address. We're working on having them be able to use their phone number so that they'll get a text message. But that's not happening right now, so you'd have to have an email address to use the consumer notification program. But once you do that, it will generate, if there's anything recorded against your property, it will generate that email. We had someone the other day call, and it was just the credit line, that she recorded, well, the bank recorded. And she said, oh, I just got this email. I wanted to know what it was. So we'll help you, go over, see what it is. And what they're actually talking about with the registers, people that do get the fraud against their property or, stolen deed, if something like that was to happen, then they have to go to court. We're trying to get something together so that they shouldn't have to pay those fees. A victim of that shouldn't have to pay the fees. It's not fair. They didn't create that. So they're going to, we're working on that right now.
I'm trying to fit this on the page, so.
Yeah, it's a very good photo right there. No, the other way.
I'm doing it. Do you want to do this? Going as fast as I can.
But it's, massrods.com, and then you hit Middlesex North. And every registry has one, so whether you live in Middlesex South, Essex North. So scroll all the way down. Yep. And it should be in red, I believe. Yep, property, home, yep.
And click on this guy?
Yeah.
Go, yeah, I think, keep going, right there, sign up. And then it tells you, yep, and then you can create your account.
Okay. And you put all your good stuff in here.
Yeah.
Save and continue. I'm not gonna do this, though.
Looks like you already have one.
I do.
Okay.
So when you first started working for the registry,
Right,
how many employees were there?
36.
36? And now you're down to
10.
10.
Oh, my God.
Whoa.
Well,
10.
well,
I mean, right now, it's slower, right? Everything's been a little bit slow, interest rates are high, not a lot of houses for sale. But even that alone, it's staffing, trying to, summer vacations. A lot of the employees there, they've been there 30 to 40 years. We have a few new employees, so that's helping us so much, but it's a lot when you have 10 employees. And a lot of times, I can pop on and do e-files, or, you have a skeleton crew because you only had 5 employees, but then 2 called in sick. Now what? We have 3 employees. We've had several days where we've had 3 people come in. That's it. But it's, I know the job. I know how to, help everyone, so it works out. And my assistant, Artie Santos, he actually, he's an attorney, so he can go out, help anyone notarize, if you have the homestead, whatever we have to do. We do swear people in. We have commissioners down there, so if you become a notary and you want to be sworn in, you can come to our office. But there are days where there's only certain times based on the employees who are commissioners.
I see.
is there overtime at your place?
No,
No overtime for
No.
nobody?
no,
Salary positions.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, we had that snowstorm, so they had closed the office that day. If the courthouse is closed, we're closed usually, but we do have laptops, so there's 3. They went home with the employees, I took one, and we all worked together. So we just got the work done that way. So we still were up and running and working just through e-files.
You said you started the, I think you talked about it on the show before, going out to the elderly centers.
Today's our first day because they had to cancel February 3rd for the election.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we're going
Cool.
out to the senior center today. It should be at 10 o'clock. Anyone who needs a homestead or doesn't know how to do the consumer notification, Lowell Senior Center.
One of the other towns, too.
Right. Come on down to the Lowell Senior Center, and myself, my assistant will be in there, and we can help you look up to see if you have a homestead, and if you don't, we can only take cash and checks, so make sure you have that. They don't take credit cards. But we can help you fill the forms out, and we can bring them right over to the registry after the seminar. So it will be good. Hopefully, I mean, there's a lot of changes. So right now, if you're 62 and you had the homestead and it's you and your wife, it used to cover you for $1 million. Now, 2 people, if you're over 62 in one household, can file the homestead and give that $2 million coverage.
Can you just explain Homestead Act, just so that everybody
Right, so the
understands?
homestead protects the property against unsecured debt. So if you came into, some problems and you couldn't pay your credit card debt, the credit card companies or whoever is holding that unsecured debt, they still can take you to court. They still can lien the property. They can't force the sale. So ultimately, you'll have to deal with it when you're back working or whatnot. But for the time that you have whatever's going on that you couldn't pay, you can stay in your home. You just continue to pay your mortgage.
So like a medical, if I had a medical issue that something happened and I was in the hospital for 10 years and I financially can't work, and let's say my house was paid off, I would be protected while I would be recovered. It just means those bills would be...
Well, your medical bills?
Would be accumulating, but they couldn't force me to sell my house while I'm in the hospital to pay for the treatment.
So not mortgages. You have to pay your mortgage.
Okay.
They can foreclose. If you had a condo, you'd have to pay all of that.
But I mean,
just
if the house is paid off, all right.
Well, you mean like gas and electric?
Well, no, I'm just saying the medical.
Oh, yeah, the medical debt.
They could not force you to sell.
Exactly, the medical bills, yes.
But although if you were in the hospital that long, I think you're going to owe north of that $2 million.
Good point.
More than 5 days, you're $1 million into it.
But just to clarify, okay, right, the creditor, whether secure or unsecure, can put a lien on that property. So when that property is sold, they would have
They'll
claims.
get their money.
They would get their money.
Okay.
And if they did put on an execution or an attachment, it's good for 6 years in the registry. I think it hangs on to you for 20 years, but as far as us, when we do titles, it's 6 years. After that, if the company didn't bring it forward, we drop it from the title. It's still going to be there. It still affects people's credit, unfortunately, because when they run the records, they see it.
Yeah, I'm just looking at you're an elderly person. You've done everything right. Your house is paid off. All of a sudden, you get sick, and you end up, let's say, bedridden in your own home, and now you have bills piling up. You're still living, and now they're trying to sell your house so your bills are paid. Where'd you end up? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what the homestead is, to keep you in your home.
Yeah.
All right.
So let me divide this up a little bit. Few minutes there, Sean. City Council, what do you got coming up? Anything hot right now?
Any good motions up tonight?
Tonight's motion's good.
So tonight, I am excited to support a couple of my colleagues' motions tonight. The one that I have on the agenda tonight is dumpster. I forget the exact wording I used, but to have the city manager work with the appropriate department, because that goes at the front of seemingly every motion, to work with business and property owners in commercial and mixed-use districts to address long-term storage of dumpsters, trash bins, and any other items on city-owned sidewalks, which is a problem that has plagued downtown and several other pockets of the city for years. I got 8 thank yous so far, which is always insane. When I'm like, oh yeah, I'll put this in, and I won't have someone say, hey, I really need you to do this thing.
John, are you aware that every company pays $50 to the city to actually have a dumpster?
They're supposed to pay it. I'm very curious to see how many people have. So, because you're supposed to get that dumpster permit, and then we're also supposed to not be emptying our dumpsters.
There's a sticker on the dumpster.
Correct.
That the city provides, and if it's not there, it should be towed away.
It should be towed away. And they're also not supposed to be in the middle of the sidewalk, which is where several of them are right now. And then we also have...
It says who the owner of the dumpster is on the permit.
Yes, which is how Inspectional Services has finally managed to get a nice $300 fine assessed to a couple of those dumpsters. We also have people leaving their big, like the commercial trash bins. They sit on the sidewalk for an indefinite amount of time.
While you're on the list of, and the audience can't hear me, so Bobby, repeat this, please. While you're on the list of antagonizing our favorite city manager, the $1,000 a day guy, why can't he put a collaborative together to get business a lesser dumpster charge?
I would like to know, before we get a lesser dumpster charge, I would like to know why, when I was getting up this morning to come get on your show at 4:58, before my 5 o'clock alarm went off, I woke up to the joyous sounds of a dumpster being smashed against the ground with the poop, 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 bam, poop, 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 bam. Thank God my kid has finally learned how to sleep through it, but the city has an ordinance that shouldn't be happening until 7 o'clock in the morning, but it's very consistent. 4:58, 5, 5:30.
I thought it was 6 if they could stop.
I believe it's 7.
Well, I know Drake.
Even say if it's 6, it's 6. I'm almost positive it's 7, and either way, 5 a.m. is not.
I know Drake has 7.
Before we get out of here, I want you to address the issue of elections. What did Sean learn from his election? And Cisco, what did he learn from his election? Because he learned you don't go to public housing because they don't vote. I never knew that.
He also learned not to talk about the police budget. So,
no, I don't think. I think for me, for losing the preliminary on my end, I think we didn't engage the voters that are engaged the most right now, which are the young protest type voters that they're going out of their way to go and vote, and I think that hurt us. We didn't take them seriously, and that's why we lost. There wasn't a lot of turnout, and they're taking advantage of that right now to get their candidates to the next level, to preliminaries and primaries, because the real engaged young voters know to get out when it matters, and the primaries and preliminaries are important if they want to get new candidates that haven't been involved politically.
Correct. Sean, does the city of Lowell have a noise ordinance? And
Drake
Drake does. Okay.
They do, and one of the things that Wayne had gotten through during our campaign, like it's a good motion. It was just an election year, so it was like, come on, bud. But was to increase the fine for the repeated violations of the noise ordinance. The issue is that we're not enforcing the noise ordinance, so the police department can enforce a noise ordinance, but we're stuck on having inspectional services do it. But inspectional services is not at work at 4:58 in the morning when that dumpster's getting smashed off the ground. But it's on a schedule, so we know when they come pick it up. I can set my clock off this dumpster schedule.
Sure.
I would be incredibly happy if one of the patrol guys could just happen to be in the area at 4:58 on Tuesday? On a Tuesday morning. They can go to, it's the intersection of Middle and Central Street, right? So that's where that one is. On Thursdays, Thursday morning around 5:15, that's when the dumpsters down by the Blue Shamrock get emptied.
Well, they got it on 4th. Like, for example, you can't even, like the trash company in Lowell, at Drake rather, they can't even stop picking up trash till 7 o'clock.
Correct.
The trucks coming down the street and everything, and it's rare that they're down at my neighborhood at 7. But
and they've done the math, right? So these waste management companies, and it's all of them. It's not even like I can say it's just Win Waste, because it's Win Waste and it's Republic and it's Waste Man. It's everyone with a trash truck. They've done the math. They said, okay, if we get caught, it's a $300 hit. We never get caught, and we now save on a crew. We get a crew that starts 2 hours early. How many more dumpsters are they able to hit?
When does Lowell High open?
Lowell High opens. I start at 7:15, but I can get in as early.
So how many kids go to Lowell High School?
3,200.
3,200 kids are walking by these dumpsters at 7 o'clock when you want these dumpster guys to start, correct?
Well, right now, no. How many Lowell High School students are walking through downtown?
That's where Lowell High is, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's out on the edge. So if you're talking about Middle Street, Jackson Street, in the alleyways where the dumpster trucks need to go.
I used to walk that way.
Yeah, how many dumpsters are being emptied at one time across the street? If the dumpster's sitting out empty, blocking the sidewalk because the guy emptied it and dropped it there, you cross the street. If the guy's emptying the dumpster, cross the street. I cross the street when they're emptying at 6:30. If I'm walking to work at 6:30 and they're emptying the dumpster, I go, "Oh, do I walk underneath the dumpster or do I cross the street?"
What time? But you said something about getting caught. So if this morning at 4:58, if you call the police and said, "Listen, they're not supposed to be emptying their dumpsters, they're violating the noise ordinance,"
right?
The police, could they do something or not do something? Or?
They could.
They'd probably just give a warning.
They would probably give a warning
the first time if there's a.
But the issue is that the trash companies are being, my opinion, the trash companies are being cheap, which I would expect them to be. It's in their best interest to be cheap. They don't want to pay, if they need another crew to be able to hit all their dumpsters, they don't want to pay the extra crew. They want to have these guys start a little bit earlier and get it all done. Mm. So if at 4:58, when they go to empty their dumpster, you go, whoop, whoop, sorry, I got to write you this citation. It's just going to be about 15 minutes. Here's the $300. And okay, here you go. And the license plate, okay. And now you ate 25 minutes of their time, and then they go to the next dumpster. Yep, okay, here you go, $300 citation. It's because each violation is its own infraction. And then maybe people would stop being woken up at 4:58 in the morning to the beautiful
key is
sounds
to
of
get
dumpsters.
it enforced that they don't start emptying these dumpsters
Correct.
before 7 o'clock.
Can anybody hear the trains in the morning?
I can.
What time is that?
It's early.
Like 2?
It's different.
And you get 4.
You get
4 of them. It wakes me up every day. I don't know if it's...
They have railroad rights.
They have railroad rights in the train tracks. Where the city has, and if the city wants to discuss not having this ordinance that would prevent the dumpsters being emptied at 7, that's a different conversation. But right now, there's a rule on the books. I think it's a good rule. I like it. I would never vote to get rid of this rule. I think if we're going to have it, we need to enforce it. That's all.
Now, Cisco, you being a former police officer,
figure out how to enforce it.
Right.
So I'm going to give you my advice. First, you start with the company calling and complaining, because there are employees that get paid on the number of jobs they do per day. So that if you have an employee out there that has access to the equipment, he's going to go on the road and start early, so his day ends early, and he can go off to the beach at 2 instead of 4:30. Mm-hmm. So I would just give the company a call and ask them, what time are they supposed to pick up the trash in this area, and start there first. And then, obviously, in the mornings, there's a really light crew till 7 o'clock. So I would think if they have the resource, they'll get someone out there. Yeah. But I doubt that you're going to get a police response to something like that early in the morning.
I agree.
Because that's when all the traffic accidents come up. And if you have 3 car accidents, there goes half of your department for the day.
I agree. It's why I would not call and say, I need you to drop everything you're doing and come, this guy's banging in a dumpster, right? But it's on a schedule. We know when they do it.
And I'm not saying
and so
not
what I'm looking for, I think what would work in my head anyway, is we know when they're going to go empty these dumpsters. We know because I wake up, my neighbors wake up over on Jackson Street, they get woken up, and then I get a bunch of emails, or Wayne used to get a bunch of emails. To the city manager's credit, I know that I'm going to take him at his word that he's reached out to these trash companies, because the last 3 times the city council has brought something up, they've said, we've reached out to the trash companies and told them, please don't do this. What I'm looking for is, okay, it's a Tuesday morning and we know this property, and this property are going to have it done at this time. Why don't we plan on putting a guy there? And if we have to pay for one day of, no, we're going to get you and you're not going to know when we do this again, that to me is a deterrent.
Yeah, I agree.
Good point. That's a good point. Yeah.
Overtime.
Yeah,
overtime for the inspection of services.
But it's one. It's a one and done, and then
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then you don't know when you're going to do it again.
Yeah.
So don't get caught.
Yeah.
All right, Sam, how you gonna bring money into Lowell?
Gotta work with the system, negotiate with them, compromise with them. The priority would be the Lowell High School. I campaign against it. I encourage other people to vote against having this monstrosity in downtown Lowell, but it is what it is. You can't change the fact. You got to finish the high school, get it done at a reasonable overage, basically. But we're almost, 45 to $50 million overage already. But that is a tough call, but we got to swallow it. I will work with the Senate President, anybody else, and find out what's going on in terms of the project, the money that is in transition, and making sure that those money are allocated properly. And I understand that the Senate office has X amount of dollars that is available. We can use that to whatever that is needed within the district. But certainly, while I'm campaigning, I do whatever I can to win. It is campaigning. It is what it is. But when it's time to govern, I want to be able to compromise and work with the Senate President. Having said that, it doesn't mean that she will own me. Nobody owns me. I mean, I am where I am today. Nobody owns me. I fought my way through. Nobody has given me anything. So I will fight for everything.
How come you have no wrinkles? How old are you, Sam?
55.
55.
Bobby says you're the best looking Cambodian guy he's ever seen.
Oh, whatever.
I know. I look better on my Facebook page, just no touch up or anything like that, just a straight photo. But I'm blessed with a good gene. I eat well, I exercise, so I'm thankful. Yeah.
Now you're getting much support for forget Lowell. You're getting much support in like the towns.
I do. I don't want to say this, but now that the cat is out of the bag, I've been doing a lot of door knockings as well.
Okay.
I'm going to be doing literature drop, mailers, just like the way.
You got 2 weeks. Short 2
well,
weeks. Well,
we got to pound the sand. We got to do the literature drop and get those people who are unhappy with what is going on Beacon Hill now, unhappy with the amount of money, billions and billions that we spend on the migrants. I mean,
what amazes me is you do have an uphill battle, as does Joe. I'm sure realizes the uphill battle against her.
It is.
And you say people are sick and tired about Beacon Hill, but again, let's go back to Diane DeZoglio's audit.
Yeah.
They're going to vote, if they vote Vanna Howard in, they don't care.
It's the same.
Yeah, they don't care.
So the other thing is, I saw it in the newspaper, they wanted to amend that so that she could do an audit every single year, an annual audit. And when they voted, only 2 reps voted yes. Everyone else voted no. Wow. And those 2 reps were, I think, Lombardo, and the other one
Republicans probably, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Everyone else
Lombardo's
voted no. So I
yeah.
couldn't figure that out. Why wouldn't you want that audit?
Yeah.
But it's true. But every rep will be
If they
reelected.
have to audit me,
yeah.
everyone should be audited.
Yeah.
Everybody should be audited.
Right?
And that's the problem.
If needed, right?
If you have nothing to hide, and she
That's
keeps
right.
saying, if you have nothing to
Yeah.
hide,
Yeah.
Well, all these politicians run on transparency.
Right.
I'm going to be more transparency. And when their opportunity comes to be transparent, what do? They shut up and just, hide in their cave.
They want a plum committee assignment. They want plum committee assignment. Each committee assignment earns some extra dollars, whether it's $20,000, $15,000, or whatever. And the bigger the committee, the more important the committee, meaning more staff, so the more prestigious. So there's no incentive for them to vote against the leadership. They're going to take the marching order from the leadership and just say, how high do I jump?
I serve on the Low Regional Transit Authority. I serve on the Drake Housing Authority, and I'm on the board of directors of the Bridge Club. All 3 of those are audited yearly. The 3, and there's no. And we always come out good. And never nothing to hide. So.
And if you're making a mistake, honestly, you want it caught early. You don't want a mistake caught 10 years down the road, and then you got 10 years of problems that you got to figure out where that money went or how to bring it back. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with an audit.
Yep.
I mean, the problem that we are having right now is that we have a one-party supermajority rule. which means that they can do whatever they want. There's no balance in government, and that's the problem. Over 60 years, the Democratic Party has ruled this state. They have the machine. Vanna Harvard is having a fundraiser, and when you look at the host committee, there were like, I'm exaggerating, but there are like at least 50 of them. The who's and who's within the Democratic Party, the big donors, they're going to raise thousands and thousands of dollars in one day, and that's the problem. But they love her because she's there, raise her hand, never show up into any of the community, beside the little crew.
Sean, you said the city of Lowell has an auditor, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that'd be like saying the city of Lowell has an auditing department.
The auditor works for the manager.
Well, no. Well, yeah, you are right, but wrong, because the auditor is one of three that the city council hires directly. The problem is, like all of our ordinance employees, the city council, when Sakari Chow was the mayor, the city council voted away the ability to. The city council voted the power to decide how much money all of our ordinance employees are paid to the city manager, which means despite the fact that the auditor and the clerk work for nominally the city council,
More power for our friend Tom.
despite the fact that they nominally work for the city council, their pay and their quote-unquote merit-based raise is tied to the city manager, which means at the end of the day, I think you're probably right.
Yeah. Well, my point in asking
you should be wrong, and I guess is what I'm saying. In an ideal world, you're wrong on paper, you're wrong in reality, you're correct.
It's kind of like
my point in asking about the auditor is that I'm sure all the departments are audited during the course of the year. Am I correct or not correct? Say for
you're
example,
right, and
let's say
we
Department of
also
Inspectional
have an
Services.
outside audit.
Oh, okay. All right, so that's my point.
I met him at a wedding.
Everybody's audited.
Everybody's audited. Conversation. Yeah.
Everybody's audited.
Yes.
So that'd be like saying the city council saying to the auditor, "No, you're not going to audit us, but you can audit other departments." So
right.
Yeah.
And I think that the Registry of Deed Trace is a really good example of why they don't want the audit. Right. You had one candidate who was friends with all of the right people and otherwise possessed no real qualification for the job, just to rehash that race for a second.
Yep.
But was friends with all of the right people, and so had every political hack in the city of Lowell and the state of Massachusetts coming out to support them for that job.
Yep.
And then you had a woman who was actually remarkably qualified for the job, but wasn't friends with all of the right people, and didn't kiss the right hands and do the right dance and say the hocus pocus words.
And you had a faker. I won't say names.
I think it's pretty obvious where I'm saying, but at the end of the day, the people who actually live in the area to vote, including Lowell, I mean, you smoked that person, smoked them. It was the first, and this is why I said at the beginning, that was the first non-presidential Democratic primary in general that I was like, yeah, you know what, I am going to go vote in that. And a lot of my friends went and voted in that. And quite honestly, it was more of making sure we went to vote because we said, wow, every political hack in the city is standing behind one person. The other person must be pretty good. And then we started looking. We were like, you know what, she is pretty good. Yeah.
You know,
So
Karen, up in your neighborhood, when I come from Stadium Plaza, heading home, the Pod House, Schmitz,
yeah.
That's a dangerous place.
It's,
they're not supposed to take a left coming out of that parking lot.
I complain so often. I said if they put a cop standing there and then the cruiser a little bit further down to pull them over, constantly blocking traffic.
Yeah.
And it's the two lanes. So then you miss the light, the traffic backs up.
Bobby, who's the district council up there? Joanne?
I won't. It's if someone's trying to do that when I'm driving,
I've seen it. I go
nuts. I just move. You can't.
I go to the Salem 5 Bank up there, and I've seen it happen. Oh my God, there's going to be an accident here.
It's so crowded. That place is dangerous.
That parking lot's more crowded than the Dunkin' Donuts 3 doors down.
Absolutely. Even on the snowstorm, I said when we heard that snowstorm, I was laughing. I said I want to videotape. It was jam-packed.
Yeah.
Like, we're never going to get out of the house. We better get here early.
You gotta get our milk
Yeah,
bread.
you get your cookies and your brownies, right?
I'm milk.
In case anybody knows what they're what they're talking about, it's the marijuana distribution center on. Is that
Roger
Route
Street.
38,
Yeah.
right? 38.
You gotta get your milk, bread, and pot.
It's all on the same route.
Oh, boy.
But where's all that money?
Yeah,
I mean, those places are jammed.
Yeah.
We got 9 minutes left. Cisco,
Okay.
will you read these, please?
And what am I reading? The state representative, Ronnie Elliott, is in the Bridge Club of Greater Lowell. St. Patrick's breakfast honoring Jay Lanahan on Saturday, March 14th at 9 a.m. The location is Lindsay's. Great chicken pot pie.
Great breakfast.
At what's the address there? 810 Merrimack Ave, Drake. Again, St. Patrick's breakfast honoring Jay. I can't read that. Lanahan on Saturday, March 14th at 9 a.m. Tomorrow's on guests will be Colin Lozelle, who's the manager out in Tingsboro, right? And host would be Linda Brown, Joe Espinola, and Mayor Eric Gitcha. Oh, that's going to be a great show.
Yeah.
That's tomorrow.
We should all call into that show. Like
That's right.
Eric calls in.
He never comes to visit us. Tuesday must be a tough morning for him.
Just really quickly, because speaking of Eric, I might have cast too wide a net. I don't know when the clerk and the auditor pay went over to the city manager. I know that the ordinance employee piece was only a couple of years ago. I might have been too broad in when we gave that power away. But we can still undo it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Take the lawyer and the auditor back.
We never had the lawyer.
Suck the lawyer out of his office.
I'd love
and
to.
the lawyer's staff.
And I'm going to go with John always calls the Wayback Machine, but I remember back in the old days of the council controlled the auditor, the town clerk, and what was the third one? Did you say was there a third one?
Attorney, right?
Did you say
some people want the attorney, but the city solicitor is in Plan E. We haven't had them. One thing that I've seen in Worcester, which is one of our two Plan E sister cities.
Yeah.
Worcester tried a couple of years ago, and it failed to get their own attorney. They wanted an attorney for the council.
We don't have new business on our agenda, which Worcester does. Old business on the agenda, which Worcester does.
Our rules say it should be there.
We're not Worcester.
Our rules say it should be there. Old business, all those unanswered motions should stay at the bottom of the packet. That's what it says.
But see, the council back then, they controlled the auditor because the auditor would oversee the manager.
Right.
Yeah.
Tommy, it's Tommy.
How about that hole?
Let's give an extension.
How about that hole in Douglas Road? How's that going?
It's going. I can't believe they're still working.
That's Brenda Duran's God.
I want to go back to. So my understanding, the city council does not approve raises. Is that
right?
So what a great way to protect yourself from the voters by not being held accountable to how money's spent. So now you get your city manager, you give them a contract, let them give raises at your discretion, that phone calls that we don't hear about. And then there's no accountability to the voters because, I didn't give them the raise.
Cisco, there's not accountability to the voters. Look at this you see it with your eyeballs, right? Just the eyeball test. And I understand snow is snow, but the nice thing about snow is that you can see it, right?
Yep.
The winter operations this year were awful. They were awful. I feel bad. I've only been here for a month and I feel bad. And people complain. In Centerville they complain. In downtown they complain. In Back Central they complain. And I have very little to say at this point other than I'm very sorry that your taxes went up and we're still this bad at winter operations.
Yeah, because we're spending all the money on managers instead of workers. We need more workers.
Sorry. Because it's not just that, Cisco. It's that when you say, or even just ask, hey, what is our winter operations protocol? Why was this response the response of the storm? What were the challenges? Why did we do a bad job? You are met with a cacophony of sycophants, of people who have to say every single time there's any question, well, this is just, I think we're doing an amazing job. This is really unprecedented. In the excuses, in the praise making, start. And we're never going to be able to hold people accountable. You can think that someone is doing a good job on 99 things, but when they screw up on one, and you're unwilling to call them out on that, and everybody can see with their eyeballs that we did a bad job, I think that tells you exactly what you need to know.
That's why I think a lot of people could learn off the police department, or you could even learn it off.
Well, you get 5 minutes, you gotta give Sam some time.
Okay, I'll throw it right at Sam then.
Go ahead, Sam.
Well,
Sam's the man. Go ahead. Ask me any question.
I'll stick
I'm
with
here.
I
that.
like the cookies and stuff, you're just asking the easy stuff.
Yeah, please, try not to take
I'm
too
gonna
many
audit
hits.
the cookies, all right?
Yeah.
So watch out, I'm keeping
Go ahead. Throw it at
Is this
you, Sam.
a tax write-off? The cookies? If I ate them, can you write them up?
No.
No? Okay. Well, would that consider as a campaign contribution in kind?
I know, maybe.
You got 60 seconds.
I got 60 seconds. Well, once again, thank you so much for watching the show. I enjoyed coming on to City Life. It was a shame that my Democratic opponent didn't show up to debate. The people of this district would benefit a lot from hearing her, what she has to say, defending her position, what she had done. But most importantly, hearing her, what are her goals and objective for the next years or so, should she get elected. Remember, folks, this is the United States of America. We don't live in an authoritarian state. We don't have kings. The Democrat has been having a lot of protests about no kings, but it seems like the Democratic nominee has been coronated already, and that is wrong. And I want you, each and every one of you who are watching right now, to come out and vote on March 3rd to prove them wrong, to prove them that we are still living in a republic, in a genuine democracy. Democracy can only work when each and every one of you exercise your God-given rights to vote. So vote like your wallet depends on it, because they are depending on it. And if you're not understanding it and you do not believe me, don't. Just take a look at your utility bill and look at them. And if you're unhappy with the amount of taxes that they shove down your throat, please consider voting for me. Give me a chance. I will fight for you and fight for your interests on Beacon Hill.
One question for Mr. Mcdonough.
Oh boy.
Would you ask our city manager why we did not get a text to vote?
Yes, I'll ask.
Thank you.
And Sam, what
Yes,
do you
sir.
think of my friend Donald Trump?
Uh,
Right now, if you had to vote for president, who would you vote for him again?
I
Even
would.
though he can't run.
I would vote for him because I think he's a patriot. In spite of his rhetoric, his action, I judge a man by his action, or a woman by her action. And what he has done so far has made this country great again, has revitalized our economy.
Time is short, I'm going to shut you off.
That's okay.
Here in 60 seconds.
So if anyone's around this morning, please come over to the senior center. I will be there for homesteads, Lowell Senior Center. And I will be there with my assistant, and we can show you how to use the consumer notification program that will protect you from anyone trying to do fraud with your deed. Or we have homesteads, and we can show you how to fill them out and talk a little bit about it. There'll be some brochures with some Q&As for you if you don't understand actually what the homestead is. So hopefully we'll see everyone soon.
Cisco, read this, and then Mr. McDonough's going to get in there.
Yeah.
The city council does okay raises in the budget process every year.
That's from Eric. Over to you, Mr. McDonough.
It sure is. He sent me that text too. I guess we do in the budget every year, but I think that the way I took the question was before you get to the point where you're voting no on the entire budget package because you went through to find the personnel, which I did, right? Well, I haven't voted no on anything yet because it hasn't come up since I've gotten there. But unless you go through the whole budget, which I did, in several years worth of budgets because they don't put their old salary in the budget anymore, then you're not going to see that raise when you're voting on the budget. I think Yeah.
I'm glad
you should. You should read the whole budget.
You
should read the whole budget. You should read last year's and the year before that too. And I have. And only in doing that are you able to see just the true magnitude of these raises.
Looks like you're doing your homework, which
I'm
is
trying.
Good.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Yeah.
45 seconds.
Even the teachers, they got a pretty good raise this past couple of years.
Did they? Yeah.
Well, you don't like teachers?
I love teachers.
Well,
Thank God. It was close to 12% though, and that's a nice raise. You know, when you look at it in
But
3 years.
22% is much better.
Well, and also,
But not when you're a paraprofessional or a cook.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things, not on this contract, but the last negotiation that the teachers union I thought did really well on a 1-year extension is instead of doing a percentage increase, they did a flat amount. So everybody got a $2,000 raise, which meant people at the top of the pay scale were moaning that they didn't get enough money, but you had all of the paraprofessionals, the custodians, security guards, first-year teachers who were making down at the bottom saw a very significant percentage bump for
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
Say goodbye, kids.
Goodbye,
Bye.
kids.
Yeah.
Goodbye, kids.
Thank you.
You know how bad I've been.